Hey there, Coach Energy here. We are back to answer another question. Thank you so much for tuning in again. If this is your first time, welcome to the show. Welcome to the channel. This is where I, as Coach Energy, the life and relationship coach, this is where I answer questions that are submitted to me. Sometimes I will take real life scenarios that I may have seen on TV or on media or, have been a part of conversations, and I will bring that back here for us to be able to learn something from it. I'm big on learning lessons based off of whatever it is that we are encountering, whatever it is that we are experiencing. And so, welcome again. If you are new here, welcome back. If you are not new, so I am ready to read the question that was asked for this particular video, and let's get into it. So it says, hey coach, I love that. That's funny. Hey coach, I'm struggling to apply your advice. I'm a single parent of two young kids and work a demanding full-time job. By the time I finish work, handling things with school, as far as drop-offs and pickups, make dinner in the evening, and do bedtime, I am completely spent. I am exhausted. You always talk about the importance of self-care and filling your own cup, but honestly, I don't even have 10 minutes to myself. Ugh, I know the feeling. I feel guilty taking time away from my kids, but I'm completely burning out. How do I actually find time for self-care when my schedule is already packed at 100% capacity? Thank you for asking the question, and it is all too familiar, especially as single parents. These are descriptors of what we deal with on a regular basis until we learn how to how to find time for self-care. So I do want to switch a specific term that was used. Instead of saying, how do I find time for self-care? Finding is going to be more difficult of a task mentally. Um, and even within our subconscious mind, finding time that already feels like it's 100% at its capacity is going to be more difficult as opposed to saying, okay, how do I make time? Because that's what we have to do. We have to ultimately be intentional with how we go through our day every single day, just as a human being, but especially as single parents, we have to be intentional and make it happen. So we have to schedule it in our day whenever we can find, excuse me, whenever those pockets of time can be scheduled, can be used, can be taken. That's where we want to do it. So let's see, working a full-time job. Throughout the day, a misconception, let me say it this way first. A misconception is often that, well, I work a full-time job, I'm clocking in 9 to 5, whatever your hours are, but I'm clocking in, and for those 8 hours of the day, I can't do anything, for myself. That is actually false. So I'm really big on coaching about making time in between your tasks at work, your meetings at work, your calls at work. And that looks like just small 3 to 5 minutes. I literally coach this in my sessions with my clients. If you can find 3 to 5 minutes, that's good. If you can find more, that is awesome. Because I don't want it to feel as if your only break during the day of working your job, your only break is your lunch break, because that often is not long enough as it is. Excuse me. So sorry. And so what does it look like to find those little small 3 to 5 minute breaks throughout the day? So um, another, I'll tie that into what I'm saying now. Another thing that I coach on is scheduling scheduling your tasks and taking breaks uh, at at a certain time point within and or after your tasks. So an example, and of course, it really just depends on what your role is, what your job is, that will determine how long your work task, your focus tasks are before you take your first break, and then how many breaks you're able to take within that task. So learn you'll have to figure out based off of your schedule at work and your tasks at work the best way to schedule this out. But here's the general idea. Um, what you want to do is schedule the 3 to 5 minute breaks, maybe for depending on, and also depending on your way of learning, your way of doing things. Um, you can try to schedule a 3 to 5 minute break either around maybe a half hour mark, or you can try to do it at the 45 minute mark or even the hour minute mark. Not the hour minute, the hour mark. You typically don't want to go, and the reason I'm saying try at the 30, at 45, or an hour is because you want to do your best not to go longer than an hour. Worst case scenario, again, if you have the flexibility at your job, worst case scenario, maybe at the half hour and a half mark, you really don't want to go past 90 minutes just because your body and your eyes, especially if you're working at a computer, you're looking at screens all day, and or if you're sitting at a desk in a chair all day, or if you're standing all day, you want to do your best to give your body, your mind, your eyes, your entire being a moment to take a break, step away, 3 to 5 minutes, and then come back. 30 minutes have passed, or 45 minutes have passed, or 60 minutes have passed. Take away, step back, give your body a break, give your eyes a break, and then come back. And those breaks, or during those little 3 to 5 minute breaks, what you can do, just do what you can. So you basically want to do some sort of movement. This includes like, so if you're sitting, if you have been sitting down, then you want to get up. You want to move around, you want to walk around, you want to stretch, do whatever you can, whether it just be right there at your desk or walking down the hall, walking down to, if you can get outside, if it's not, too far of a walk or too many security doors or whatever, that you may have to go in or out of, because being able to get outside and get some sun hitting your skin, getting that fresh air, being able to breathe that fresh air in and letting that sun hit your skin, that would be ideal. But otherwise, if you have to stay indoors, then do whatever you can. Walk to the bathroom if you have to, walk to wherever the cafeteria is if you have to, or again, just stand up right where your desk is if there's really nowhere for you to walk, depending on how your office is set up. And so that's if you've been sitting down. But let's say if you're working a job where, and this, the first thing that comes to mind as an example is if someone is like working like a warehouse type of job or something, of course, more physical, where you're having to stand in order to perform your functions or your duties. And so if that's the case, during those 3 to 5 minute breaks, you want to find somewhere to relax your body. So find somewhere to sit down. You want to find somewhere to, if there's a chair that you can sit down on, depending on the environment, if you can just kind of sit against the wall, even if it's on the floor, if it's clean, that would be fine as well. But you basically want to change the position of where you have been during that long focus period to something different. Even another thing to consider doing is sometimes during some of those breaks, one of those breaks, you can just literally sit back in if you're sitting, sit back in your chair, lean your head back, close your eyes, and just allow yourself, your mind, and your body to just relax and reset. You're just doing a quick little micro type of reset, a micro moment of just relaxing and allowing your mind to just pause for a moment, to just take a break for a moment in order to then come back uh, a little bit more fresh and ready to go to continue or complete whatever task that you were working on. So those are just some of the things that you can do throughout the day that a lot of people don't think about that they have available to them. And then let's say once you're, let me see, looking at the question. So let's talk about after work. So okay, yeah. So by the time I finish work, handling school, making dinner, and then do bedtime, I'm completely spent. Totally understandable. Been there, done that. And so what helps is during the having structure. Let me say that first. Having structure, having a routine, having a schedule that you and your children are able to, or child, that you are in this case. Yeah, two young kids. So um, having structure, create a routine that you and your children can all be in agreement on and all follow, and y'all are working together to keep the structure, to keep the routine together and to follow it. I say that because if you can get your entire household, you and your two kids, if you can get your entire household on the same page and in agreement on what the plan is, in agreement on the plan, that will help. That will help all of you, actually, and especially you as the parent, and actually especially with the kids because kids, they love structure. They need structure. They like routine. They need routine. And if you are able to predetermine, okay, on Monday, once we get home, this is what they're going to do in this order, A, B, C, D, whatever those things are, whether it be homework or them getting a snack, them, having a little playtime, or then eating dinner and showers and, finding their clothes, depending on how old they are, giving them the responsibility to find their clothes for school the next day. Whatever it is, you can say, okay, on this day, we're going to do this, this, and this. On Tuesdays, we're going to do this, this, and this, and so forth and so on. And post it to help with having young kids and to help them buy in on the routine and on the plan. Post it. Definitely a big suggestion that I would give. You want to, make it colorful with, or if they prefer not a lot of different colors, whatever works for your kids, you want to use that and create something fun, something engaging, something that they could see and follow and easily understand that, okay, this is what we're doing today, or this is what we're doing next, and have them be a part of the plan. And so everyone also just has their own me time, because part of doing this structure, creating this routine is where one of the tasks would be calm down, downtime, or a quiet time, or personal time. Let them understand and learn and get used to having, moments of personal time, just like us as adults need. Children need that same thing, but they have to be taught that. And so I'm just making sure that you're teaching them how to create and follow structure and routine, and how to have those moments of where, okay, everybody is, this is calm, this is quiet time now, whatever it is that you want to call it. Come up with something creative. I'm not being creative in this moment right now, but call it whatever will work for you and your household and your kids. So that is also a way that you can just get a moment of downtime, of quiet time, to just sit, breathe, relax, and do nothing for however much time that you designate, however much time that you schedule for it. Now, depending on the age of your kids, of course, you have to be reasonable because of the attention spans and all of that type of stuff. So figure out, again, this is a part of how to make time for self-care, even when it feels like you are at 100% capacity. There is always time for yourself. You just have to be intentional and strategic and creative with how you get it in throughout the day. And so having those little 3 to 5 minute breaks at least once an hour every hour if possible. Of course, some of your depending on your work and depending on your schedule overall with work and personal life, there may be some days where it's not going to work out perfectly. Of course, go into it with that expectation, but you still want to be intentional with doing your best to make it happen. You want to do your best to keep that structure or keep that type of mindset as you're going day to day to day, because eventually you'll start to see it happening and forming, and it feels like it's happening naturally. It's just the fact that it's becoming a part of your norm. It's becoming a part of your routine, and yeah, let me see. So let's see, making dinner. When you're making dinner, you can be creative with self-care time there by maybe, okay, while you're doing dinner, because part of self-care is also doing things that you enjoy. And so let's say if you enjoy reading, a lot of people are getting back into reading, have been reading for a long time, but a lot more people are getting into reading. And so let's say if you're big into reading, well, of course, while you're cooking, you're not going to be, sitting there with a book, but you may like audiobooks, for an example, or you may want to listen to a podcast or a Coach Energy episode, for an example, or you may have, there may be one of your favorite shows that you can catch up on and kind of like treat yourself to that episode while you're doing what is a chore, cooking dinner, or even during other chores like cleaning, mopping, doing laundry. Pair that with things that you enjoy that you can incorporate, or how you can incorporate the self-care type of activities and or time. And then, of course, when it's time for you to get yourself prepared for like bath time or whatever. Truly plan that out. If it works better for you to do it after the kids go to bed, so you can maybe soak in the tub, or if you're just a shower person, that's totally fine as well. You can just have uninterrupted time when the kids are in bed already. Then schedule it that way. Another thing, speaking of time and bed, another thing that will help with the feelings of burnout and feeling as if your schedule is already at full capacity, you want to make sure that you're getting enough sleep. I cannot say this enough. You want to make sure that you are getting to bed at a really reasonable time, getting to bed so you have enough time to allow your body to rest and recoup and recharge and reset before it's time for you to get up whenever that alarm goes off. And so you want to shoot for at least 8 hours, especially for your kids. Your kids should try to get 9 to 10 hours on average. And so if you can shoot for that, then you will feel a difference, because then when you wake up that next morning and you're ready to, when it's time to get your day started, you're ready to tackle a day. You're ready to like kick it into high gear, because your body will have been able to fully rest, and you're going into the day not feeling like you're sluggish, or like you're running off of yesterday's fumes, type of thing. So don't don't discount the what a good full night's rest can do. And I know that can be difficult for single parents, because it's like, okay, those are like the extra hours that we have to try to take advantage of, either finishing work that we didn't finish earlier in the day, or catching up in order to be where we need to be before tomorrow starts. And but yeah, just be really, really intentional, and you can make it happen. But it is going to take trial and error, trial and error. You have to keep doing it, keep doing it, keep working at it day after day after day after day, until it becomes something that starts to really fit and goes together with ease and not something that you have to force or anything like that. So let me so, single parent of two young kids, demanding full-time job, making dinner, bedtime, completely spent. I talk about the importance of self-care, just kind of running through the question, making sure I don't miss anything in particular. You talk about the importance of self-care, filling your own cup. Honestly, I don't have 10 minutes to myself. Yes, you do. Oh, here we go. See, I feel guilty taking time away from my kids, but I'm completely burning out. And so that's another thing that I definitely want to hit on is the feeling of guilt, the feeling of not wanting to take time away from your kids, but it the hmm, you have to take care of yourself in order to be able to take care of your kids and in order to be present for your kids. And so the thought of taking time away from my kids. You're not taking time away. Change the mindset, change the way of thinking about it. You're not taking time away from your kids. You're giving time to yourself to be able to then come back and be as present as possible for your kids. So it's actually you doing a good thing. Taking you're actually making time for self-care in order to then be available more for your kids because it's no good being exhausted just because you want to be like right there with your kids all day every like that's working backwards. When you're with your kids, you want to be full. You want to be like you said, how did you describe it? Mm, dang it, what did it say? Oh my goodness, this is taking too long to find it. I know I'm looking over it. Oh, okay, filling your own cup. Goodness. So just literally, you have to fill your own cup. You mentioned it in this question. So yes, I talk about it all the time. The importance of self-care and filling your own cup. That is literally taking what you consider taking time away from your kids is filling your own cup so you can be there and available and present and energetic and full. Your cup is full so you can then pour into your kids. You have to fill your own cup so you can pour into your kids because they need you. They need a rested parent, especially as single parents. We're doing double duty. So you need to be able to pour into your kids. And the only way to do that is if you are full, if you are at 100%, if you are not trying to pour from an empty cup because they're going to feel that energy. No pun intended. They're going to feel that energy. They're going to feel and sense and see the exhaustion. They're going to feel, sense, and see the burnout, the overwhelm, the stress. And unfortunately, sometimes that comes out towards the kids in ways of where it could be like, having short patience or short temper or, being snappy or just yeah, patience, short patience, short tempered, being snappy. They're going to feel that, they're going to sense that, they're going to hear it in your voice when you're talking to them. You may accidentally say something short or that's not as compassionate, and they're going to feel it and they're receiving all of that. So you must fill your own cup and not look at it as you're taking away from your kids. That feeling of quote unquote guilt is wrong. It needs to it's wrongly defined, and you need to redefine the feeling of guilt for what it actually is. I'm glad I reread this. I skimmed through it to make sure I didn't miss anything because that's a big one I get a lot of the time. But yeah, reach out to me so for anyone that's watching this that is also dealing with the same thing or something similar, uh, especially being single parents here, you want to make sure that you are reaching out to get assistance or help or guidance for yourself so you can be the best parent that you can be for your kids, your children. You're going to reach me by going to my website, coachnrgy.com. Enrgy is spelled Nrgy, coachnrgy.com, and you will book a consultation on my calendar, and we can start there. We can get the conversation started and determine what would be the best course that will work out for you. So we will come up with something together. It would be a customized or personalized plan of action that I would help you create for you to then be able to follow. And I will be there with you throughout our future sessions to make sure that you're sticking within the guidelines and to help you stay accountable because it can get tough. It can get tough and it can get discouraging, but I will be there to hold you accountable and to cheer you on. And again, the website, coachnrgy.com, or you can click the link in the description of this video. It will be one of the first two links. The other link, if you go to the description of this video, is where you are able to submit your own question. So if you would like to have a question based off of whatever you're experiencing, a scenario that you're experiencing, or something that you may have been asked by someone else or may have heard from someone else or out here with as much information as out online or and on social media, you can submit those questions to me and I will give my video response, giving you my perspective. If this video was helpful to you, consider sharing this to someone else that to where this video could also be helpful to them. Sharing is caring here. And we want to make sure that we are helping as many people, especially as single parents. We want to help as many single parents as possible to get through their day to day. And when I say single parents, I am referring to the fathers as well as the mothers. I work with both fathers and mothers. I'm not just a single mom coach. I work with the fathers and the mothers because it's very important to me, based off of my belief, my understanding of how life works, how the world works, how the world is set up. Our fathers, the men, just in general, period, um, they need guidance and some sort of like support. Let me say it that way. They need support. They need resources as well. So reach out to me. I am the single parents coach. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And until next time, I will see you around. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.